Okay, I've adjusted my lights while... Don't use Windows. Never, ever use Windows. Don't use Windows. Unfortunately, I haven't changed this computer out yet. I've got other computers. They are all running, not Windows. Don't use Windows. Anyway, welcome. All was going fine until like 1 minute before this thing started. And then I always open the browser, open my streaming software, make sure everything's working fine, shut those down, reboot the computer just to make sure any weirdness is cleared out. And this time it just absolutely insisted, there's no internet. I'm like, there was 40 seconds ago. What the heck? So yeah, that's fun. So don't use Windows. Where was I? Okay, tonight I realized, I was like, oh, my little guys are going to fall off the edge. There's no railings. So I need to put some railings in. I need to measure where they're going to fit between the stairwells, which I think you can see, yeah, between the stairwells, and build some railings across there. That is definitely on the agenda tonight. I will probably also get to some yardarms. I keep forgetting that word. Yardarms for the to hold the sails, and I may get to those tonight. I figured out how I'm going to do them. Those are going to be an interesting thing. I think you'll like that. But I haven't figured out how I'm going to do the attachment point, so I'm just going to talk about that later while I'm actually wrapping sails onto them, if we get to that point tonight. I am also, let's see. Oh, I was thinking to myself, oh, I forgot that word, but I also forgot another word a few weeks ago, and I forgot to come back and say it. They're all spars. Everything that runs sticks out of a ship is a spar. Everything that runs off of a spar is an arm. I kept calling the front thing on the front a spar. It is technically a spar, but it's called the bowsprit for those who are playing along in the home game. Okay, as you know, I like to cover things I have found during the week and brought down here to use for crafting, that sort of thing. So I'm going to get that out of the way, and then I'll jump into the ship. I don't know that you need to see this on the camera, but if I decide so, then I'll switch to the other camera and we'll work it from there. Okay, yet another can. There always seems to be more cans. This is that little box I told you I carry in my pocket. It's got matchsticks and some stickers in it. Deal with that later. I've got a lid. I didn't need the jar that this was, easy for me to say. I didn't need the jar that this was on, but I thought I might have a jar down here that the lid would fit. So I brought it down. If not, I can use it as a plinth or some kind of platform. And if I don't need it for that, well, it was headed to the recycling anyway. So try and give it a second life before it goes away. I found some clear food packaging, like the bag on the inside of, this is actually crackers, not cereal, but that kind of bag. And I thought these might be good for old medieval style windows, because for a long time, people don't necessarily realize this, but for a long time, people didn't have glass on their windows. They just were open, or they weren't, or they put up something like an oiled vellum, which is goat skin, and that would let light in. And sometimes if the light was bright enough and if the person was close enough, you could kind of tell that there were people outside moving around, that sort of thing. So to sort of recreate, it's kind of cloudy, you can't really see. I saw this plastic the other day, and I don't know if you can tell, but it's not, yeah, there you go. It's not really transparent so much as translucent. So I thought that would be good for that. Weird things pop into my head. This lid goes to this jar. I'll show you in a minute. Yet another cup for various powdery things. Okay, so that goes in the other room with the other canisters. Then I have, I don't know what I just dropped. Oh, that thing. This is a sanding sponge. This is specifically from my buddy's Clean Your Headlights kit. So it's got 2 different grits on the different sides, but I can always use more sanding, and the foam allows me to get into like nooks and crannies and stuff. So sanding sponge, it is what it is. Jar, always useful. I have switched. I have hopefully. I'm trying to switch completely to plastic. No glass, concrete floor. Bad. So I've got jar, canister, and extra random lid. Why not? I also have a canister from some sprinkles to put on top of cookies. I've mentioned several times I got a housemate that's a baker and such. So that's what that's from. But I figured these would be good for various grits of sand and all that because, oh, can't get that open. Okay, I'll use a funnel to funnel them later. I don't know if you can see that, but there's four different spaces in there. So I can put 4 different types of things in there. So let's put that right back in there. And that can go in there with it. Hypothetically, there we go. Then that can go off to the side. And I also got more eggs. I like these boxes. I take the flaps and I hot glue them back in place, trim off the edge, and I use these as trays for holding lots of stuff. You've seen those in many of my videos before. So I got another one of those. So that's not a big deal. It's just a thing. Technically, none of this is a big deal. Alrighty, let's check the chat. See what we got going on. Yeah, tech sadness. Yeah, it's, oh my gosh. Work sucks kids. Is that 1 sentence or 2? Oh, 12-hour shift. Gosh. Was I wrong or did I not see you watching? Oh yeah, of course I wouldn't. You're on a 12-hour shift. So you weren't watching Carl's stream earlier because sometimes I know that you catch it. So sorry that I missed you there, LC. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for coming. Yeah. Let's see. I presume y'all can hear me. Somebody would have said something. Tea. Let's do tea next. I'm going to have some tea. Then, while I'm doing that, I'm going to switch to the other thing here. I can talk about the lovely people that keep the hot glue flowing up in here. And, really? Oh. I'm glad that my light not working reminded me to turn on my hot glue gun because I am going to need that in a minute. Yeah, these lovely people, DC, digital calibrator, personal friend, comes actual, like in real life, physical, I've met her friend, comes over and we hang out sometimes and also has helped with some audio and video issues here on the channel. So always big shouts out to DC. Patrick Walther, that's Hacksaw's Hobby Bunker. Go check out his site. Builds lots of cool stuff. Not site. Well, he may have a site. Go check out his YouTube. Dungeon Matron, that's Lisa. Lisa is part of Just Flocking with You. So there is a link to her Discord down below. Lots of people like to hang out there and just talk about crafting and all that. So hop on her Discord while you're down there. Links to my Discord are there as well. That is the easiest way to find me. And I talk about all sorts of stuff. I talk about the game I'm writing. I talk about jokes, puns, all sorts of crafting stuff, etc., etc., etc. So join our Discord. So that's Lisa. That's Dungeon Matron. Solo Nick. He's got 2 channels, and both are very cool. One is about his crafting, like what we do. It's all the gaming and such, and the other one is about his man about town stuff, like when he goes out and travels and he talks about where he's going and what's going on there. Wow, this tea's actually warm for once. Usually by the time I get to it down here it's cold. Okay, and Mia Geek, that's Pepper, and Pepper has her own channel but has not done too much with that yet, but I'm sure more is coming. And can also be found on Shadows of Arconia on Twitch, which is a you can watch them play play tabletop games. So that's fun. So let me switch to the right-hand cam. And then we will jump into it. Oh, wow. I actually got pretty good in shot this time. Nice. Okay, so. Yeah, I need that. I'm gonna need that. Remember when I said this thing wasn't crooked and I got it fixed by fixing the thing? Yeah, it is crooked, but it sits where I need it to, so I'm not that worried about it. You can see it if you can. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. I'm the only one who cares. Yeah, whatever. So I need these 2 tonight for sure, and then maybe the spars here in a minute. But for now, I'm going to take the rest of this and move it out of the way. Tea first, though. Tea. Tea. Wow, okay, that tea is actually too hot to drink. It's never too hot to drink by the time I get it down here. That is very excellent. That means it will be nice and warm all through my evening. So, as I ask every time, please like, share, subscribe, and afterwards refresh the page so that you can leave a comment. If you're watching this from the future, please go down and leave a comment. I also always ask, anybody else crafting on anything or anything like that? Now, Elsie's crafting a 12-hour shift at work. Anybody else got anything going on? I know that from previous conversations that Callie Lynn is probably cleaning because likes to get everything handled on the weekends before the Monday kicks in and does all that stuff. All right, now I'm going to jump right on into this. You've seen how I did this before, so it's going to look just like this. It's going to be a bunch of push pins, and then over the top of that, I'm going to have an arced piece, and that arced piece is just going to butt into this other one and come up, over, and down, and I'm going to have a bunch of push pins in between there with a railing on it. I unfortunately don't have any more of the fun coloredy ones, and it does make it a little harder to see these on camera, but they're all going to eventually get painted anyway. So yeah. Tis what tis. This warp is really irritating me, and it hasn't. Gonna whine, gonna complain. All right. I said I didn't need the other thing, and now I do need the other thing, because then I gotta mark where to build the railing from and to. So let me go do that. I'm gonna do that off camera. I'll be right back. I'm not going anywhere. You can still hear me. So, what was I saying? What was I talking about? Oh, right. Anybody crafting anything? Anybody got the craft on tonight? I know that a housemate has been baking and baking and baking because her season is just kicking back in. Had about 3 weeks off because the holidays ended and that sort of thing. So, with the baking crafting, that is about to gear back up upstairs. So, yeah, I'm not only into miniature stuff, I'm also into watching other people do stuff that's not miniature stuff. All right. All right, I've almost got these marks made, and then I will be right back. I mean, not that I went anywhere, but I will be back on camera. Okie dokie. Look, I made marks. Ta-da! Have a good night, everybody. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Please don't go away. Okay, now I got to measure between those, find the center point, and work outward from there with the little pushy pins. At some point, I'm going to have to cut a railing, but I think, yeah, okay, I've got a piece right here I can work with that from. So don't got to go, no, don't got grammar. Cross, it's not, you sound like you were, raised in some ranch out in the middle of nowhere in Texas. Well, getting ahead of myself. Thumbtacks or push pins come after the marking. All right, I need my smallish ruler. That's not the smallest one, but that'll work. Okay, that is what is that? 4.5. Not quite, but close enough. 4.5. That means center point is going to be 2.25. Right? 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, okay. Measure 37 times, cut once. It's the best way. Oh, luckily, that actually matches up with my center line of the ship. The ship's a little crooked, a little wonky, itty bit, so I'm only double checking it. I'm actually rather surprised that one matched up. This one I don't expect to because they don't even match the planks on the sides. This one is not 4 1/4. This one is 4 1/2. I said this one is. Oh, I'll be dipped. It is 4 1/2. Okay, so 2 1/4 is all right. Just off that center line. I don't know if you can see how little that's off, but it's off. So I'm probably just going to use the center line because it's easier to stick a push pin in there. Now, try my tea again, see if it's cool enough to drink yet. Much better. Okay, my hot glue I had put on high just to get it up to temp quickly. I don't want it on high because they can melt this foam. I think I left it for too long because little bits were dripping out, but I think we'll survive. So what I am going to do is a bunch of these, dump them out in a method where they won't all just immediately roll away. Actually, push pins don't really try to roll away. They just roll around in a circle because the angle of them, there's maths involved. I'm not getting into why, but that's a thing I know of. And we're just going to jump into this. All right. Okay. We've done it 7. Isn't it 7? It's already 7. Thought you were on the East Coast. Daylight savings switching this morning caught me completely by off guard. Lost an hour of sleep. Had no idea. Not like I would have planned for it anyway. I went to bed when I got tired and I woke up when I woke up. That's not true. I set my alarm this morning. I had dog sitting duty. Not that kind of duty. Don't be gross. I read half your comment and stopped. Let's try that again. Don't use Windows, kids. Keeps telling me, no internet. The internet's fine. Everything else in the house is connected to the internet. Internet is fine. Sometimes I do complain about the internet. But if I had to get rid of one, I'll get rid of Windows before I get rid of Comcast. I don't like Comcast, but I hate Windows. I love how it'll go away and be like, they're totally disconnected. You need to stop. Everything's gone to hell on her. And then immediately it'll fix itself and be like, oh, everything's fine. And it'll give me an excellent signal rating. And I'm like, which, bruh? Okay, now those marks I made earlier were putting way too much glue on this, but I think it's because I got the gun too hot before I started. The marks I made earlier are where the railing needs to start from and come up and over. So I only want to get the push pins close-ish to it so I can come up and over them. So not that big a deal there. I should be doing this over my other board because it's easier to get hot glue off of that than this, but whatever. Okay, I expected these railings to be long, that I was going to have to add to be longer, and they're actually kind of short. These 2 push pins are 1 piece. That's interesting. I mean, I know they're made in like production, big long lines of push pins that are then like broken apart like little things, but I never had them be connected before. This one's even got flashing on it. Push pins, in case you don't know, are made with either wheels or belts of itty bitty tiny molds. And the goo squishes in and makes the push pin, and they move along their little conveyor belt when they go. So you sometimes end up with flashing on your little pins. I don't think I'm going. Yeah, no, I need to get closer. One last one on this side, and then I got to go the other direction. Okay. So that is 6, including that center line. So I got to go 5 out the other way. And that way I don't have to really look at the mark. I can just do. So somebody suggested something, and I think it is an incredibly bad idea. You should put more of yourself into your videos. Well, yes, I get that. No, I mean, like, you know, your actual opinions. It's like, no, Mr. Peter, no. We're not doing that. What brought that up? Well, I was thinking about Comcast, but then I was thinking about other technology issues and was like, nope, that's politics. Leave it alone. Move away. Put down the politics and back away. Oh, I got one of those really crooked, and it's just enough crooked that if I try to move it, I won't be able to because it will just keep sliding into the same hole I already poked. Shut up. I heard y'all thinking it. Oh, dirty minded. Or is it just me? Maybe it's just me. Okay. Now, see, on these sides, I had multiple layers of cardboard and various other things. So the I should have done this with the railings. I want to change it for uniformity. Yep, we're going to redo that. We're going to redo everything I just did. Which is going to involve gently and delicately tearing out glue. So, okay, nobody tell anybody. Nobody tell anybody that I jacked that up. It'll just be our little secret. That and the fact that I'll come back and fix it in a minute. Okay, I'm going to make this we're going to call it a 1/2 inch-ish. That's literally, I'm calling it a 1/2 inch-ish. No. 1/2 inch is too wide. It's 1/3 of an inch. 8 millimeters. Centimeter is going to be too narrow. Yeah, we're going to do it at about 8 millimeters. I know, I just switched my measurements again. I do that. It's a thing. I'm probably not going to be able to get all of this out of one strip, so I'm going to do 2 strips. That will definitely be enough to cover the front and rear decks. The audio stream's current bitrate is lower than yet. Suck it up. Really? This is just one of those damn days. Oh no, he said damn. Yeah, well, one of those damn days. Son of a biscuits. It's the freaking point of having precision friggin' equipment. It just goes and acts like a complete. This show is not rated for children, but I should not use the language that is currently in my head. Okay, I'm gonna eyeball it this time because fuck. Sorry. That's where I'm at with this. This was supposed to go so simply tonight. Okay. 2 strips of this, I said. It's 2 because, you know, 1 paint in the painful area. Not enough. Okay. Now. Screw it. I'm already upset. I might as well fix my problem, my error I made. You're gonna take that and try to gently and delicately get under each of these. Okay. No, you're going to turn. Don't care. You have exactly 2 options. Work with me. I break the plastic off, yank the metal out, and start over. Oh, it suddenly came loose. Who knew? I find threats work well. Now, that is going to get off. That is going to make little divots. And I don't care, since literally I'm doing this to put another board on top of that. So, anyway. Oh, and I am going to need the texture of that. Remind me, I need the texture of that. Oh, you're in Central. Okay, so it is still 6 something. Yeah, outside of opinion on foam or crafting. Well, the thing that I'm talking about potentially expressing an opinion on is in the news lately a lot, but it's particularly hit home in crafting because a crafter's channel got hacked. And it not only got hacked, it got hacked for a genuinely garbage reason. And I have many opinions on that. That's going to be all I really say about that for now. Because A, I know what the problem is. If y'all caught that, well, there you go. I have a computer science degree and am still not a fan of tech bros. That said, there's a channel called Black Magic Craft. If you like crafting stuff, go give him a watch. He does really cool stuff. He makes more grandiose builds than I tend to. And he does a lot of stuff with electronics and lighting and stuff like that. So he's working with a guy named Daffod from Terraintronics. So John and Daffod are working together on some lighting projects. And in fact, one of the things they're also going to be doing is trying to work on John's recently hacked YouTube channel. So he may be back under the same name, or he may have to start completely over again because, well, YouTube. So check out Terraintronics. Check out check out I said Black Magic Craft. It's not that one. That's also a good channel. Tabletop Witchcraft. That's the one that got jacked and hacked. So give both of those a go. They are both good channels. They're both good guys. And they are soon, like over the next couple days, going to be working together on their regular tech stuff, but also trying to get John back his situation. So I wish them all the best. So Tabletop Witchcraft is currently being assisted, or going to be assisted tomorrow, by Terraintronics, and they're both good people. Okay. Now, for this bottom one, you're not really going to be able to see it. So I'm not going to bother texturing this bottom row, or the bottom board. So I'm just going to take that and measure it. Now, I'm measuring that same 4.5 inches I did earlier, minus the thickness of 2 of these boards. So, because I'm going to have one at one end and one at the other. So I'm going to take that, move that there, move that over a little bit more, find this mark, and cut right there. And that is going to be close enough for gummit work. So that will, excuse me, I'm sorry. Just to show, I will fit that right between those marks, and close enough is close enough because I'll just match the other piece up over the ends. So having that lifted up should also get rid of that spiky problem I had. So I may not have to cut anything, which would be nice. Yeah, off camera because professionalism. Use my glue gun has cooled back down to regular temperature, which is good. Lining that up right between those 2 marks. Smudge that down so that the glue goes between it. That's a technical term. Also smudge. Okay. And you should be able to see I've put that between the 2 marks. Depends on the glare. That's all right. All right, start all over. At least I know it's 11. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do this a different way. I'll put a thing there. That should get me my first 5 really quick. Plug. Plug. The holes underneath should still be there, so it should be, the tips of the pins should, help me to line up the tips of the pins. I guess technically they're going to auto line up. It's the auto align. I don't know. You get what I'm saying? Maybe. I don't get what I'm saying. Okay, dokie. Oh, I don't have to worry about the holes below because I don't know if you can see this. The points of the pins are not long enough to get through both layers. They're almost, but not quite. So that's going to work out basically perfect for me. I shouldn't say that because every time I say something like that, it all goes to heck. Okay. 3. Come on. Okay. And more glue under there. Bloop. Okay. Push that last one into place there. Okay, dokie. 3 on the other side, and then I can switch to the other end. And then I will come back and do the ones over the top after I've textured that faux board. So yeah, I'm sorry we got off to a rocky start tonight. That was literally completely unexpected. Caught me out of left field. I planned for lots of things. I found lots of things that screw up every week, and I fix all of them ahead of time. That was just annoying weirdness. So I apologize for that. It got me off to a bad mood to begin with, and then thinking about John and his channel, and I don't know. I apologize. Y'all don't need to hear me put up. Y'all don't need to put up. Y'all do not have to. You know what I'm saying. I apologize. That's what I'm saying. Okie dokie. Alrighty. Line that up again. Make sure to skip that thicknesses as those thicknesses that I cut off that I mentioned earlier. I will show that again after I've got this held in place for just a second long enough for the set. Okay, we've done that. I marked here and here. These need to be a little shorter, so you notice I've left a gap here and here, and that will allow for my railing to come up, across, and down. So, a lot of bent wood on this ship. I'm not sure how well that would actually hold up under salty wind, but ships hold up, so I can't imagine that bent wood wouldn't hold up. Anyway. Okay. This one I said was on the center mark, so I'm just going to use the center mark. Oh, to demonstrate how I'm doing these, I showed this before in a previous week. I'm putting the tip of the pin down in there. Then I am gently squeezing the trigger, and the glue is following the pin on the way out, and then I will create a hole, and that glue will hold it to the hole. I am using low temp on the glue, not high, because the high temp can actually melt the foam, and I want to very much not do that. I want very much to not, grammar, I don't know. Okay. I'm gonna do these 3 at a time, and I think this should be about the same width. So I should be able to do 3 and then 2, but it may only be 3. It may be 3 and then only 1. So let's see. Okay. Oop, I got that one a little far away. So yeah, that may mess it up anyway. The spacing in general. Oh, that one's got a narrow base. That sort of saved it for me. Put this third one down. These are not the most accurately reproduced push pins. No 2 of them seem to have the same dimensions. So and that one's just crooked as I'll get out. Oh, never mind. Oh, I don't want that one. If I get them too close, the thing can't come up and over. And I think I'm going to have the same issue here. Nope. You know what? I'm going to work with it. Where's that one I just had? There it is. Let me get the glue off it. that one down by itself. This one's going to be a little snug, but I think I can work it. Work it, work it. There's a big chunk of plastic stuck in that. When I was talking about the flashing, a big chunk on there. It's not worth messing with while my glue is cooling. These stabbed in, then I can worry about trying to redeem that one push pin. By the way, this type of pin, it's called a push pin, not a thumbtack. It's not on the quiz, just letting people know. Okay, let's see if that one will break off. Yes, okay. I know it's silly, but I save stuff like this for rubble piles. I have no idea. Will I ever use this? Yeah, I don't know. Go put it in a rubble pile. Oh, that's the foam. This is plastic and wood over here. You separate your rubble pile? Yes, yes. You've covered this in previous episodes. Okay, last pin. Okay. Now, take these away. The other kinds of pins, totally different pin on top. Put that over there. Now, I need to texture this. You've seen me do this before. It uses wire brushes. You don't stick in any gouge. You want to actually sort of drag the metal bristles across, and you do want to use metal. Plastic bristles won't really leave a pattern on this. What is this? Oh, this is the one I was using on the other kind of foam. So that's other kind of foam is what that stuff is. You know what? I don't feel like cleaning it out, so we'll switch to a different one. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to drag this across. For ease sake, I'm doing it toward myself. It doesn't matter which way you go with it, whichever is more comfortable. And I'm going to take one side of this. This one's kind of jacked up, so I'm going to make sure that that's the downside. And I'm going to draw a line down this side, just so I know which side I patterned. Because it'll be hidden once I glue it in there anyway. So that red line won't ever show up. Now I flip it back over to the side I actually want, and you don't want one long drag, or it ends up your board ends up looking like too uniform. Okay, I'll switch it around. I also kind of want the edges, though I don't think they'll really show up. Okay, now where this is jacked up and had that weird those blemishes in it, I need to be careful, otherwise I'll just rip through it. On the other hand, I will have plenty here before I even get to that blemish where it won't matter even if I tear that off, because I've got more than enough to work on the other end. Okay, now white on white never shows up well on the camera, but I am going to attempt to show you. This is an untextured one, and this is a textured one, and I hope you can see. Not a, oh, well, maybe, but no, can't see it on the camera at all. It may show up really good. It may just not show up on my preview. So anyway, it'll all look better. The patterning, the texturing is a good thing, and it will work better, or will show up better once it's painted. It will look like wood grain. Trust the process. Okay, don't need pliers anymore. Okay, now I need to guesstimate how much I'm in need of this. I need to start here. I'm going to go ahead and glue the end into place. Remember, I left that red line so I'd know which side was my jacked up side. And I'm starting from the end that's not the one with the blemish on it. So I want to put a drop of glue on the deck and the edge of this other faux lumber. I'm putting one bead, but it's hitting both places. Then I am taking that and squishing that against there. Catch any squish out that comes out. And hold that in place long enough for it to tack up. That's going to take me just a second, so I'm just going to leave my thumb there. Grab a little more of that glue that's coming out. Come on, hold my thumb there while I can drink some more tea. Okay, tea has been consumed. Knife, which I will need in a second anyway, has now been safely closed because I didn't close it earlier because I am a dingus. Okay, now this needs to come here, but I want it to sort of roll over that. So I think what I am actually going to do is push both of those pins to where, because they're push pins, try to tilt them in a little, but they really don't want to move because the bottoms of the push pins, the fatter parts, are bumped right against each other. So they don't really want to move. So I may have done myself into a corner here, or I may have to trim off part of this with this. I am going to trim. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab my big nippers, because they will get through this with no problem. Cut it at an angle and just take it off at an angle. That took no pressure at all. That was much easier than I expected. No, these have a angle on them, a little thing. Anyway, they're trying to move away while I do it. So I am going to need my smaller one so I can get tighter in there and nip that off. It did, the big thing started it, but it didn't actually do what I needed. So I'm coming in a little bit more snugly. Not snuggly, snugly. Only one G. That was my forehead. That's fine. It's fine. It's all fine. Okay, now I'm going to take that and sort of bend it around my finger. Nope, pencil, I think. Just sort of get a curvature on that. Then, yeah, that's going to look mighty fine. That's going to look like that. Now I need to match it on the other side, and then I know where to cut. So I need to take the pencil and wrap around, and that's going to need to cut about there. That's not the right tool for the job. I am leaving it extra long because you can always cut. You can always cut more off, but you can't cut. You can't cut more on. You can't cut more on. I mean, you can't cut more on. You used a bad one. Yeah, I'm only insulting myself. It's okay. Tiny little angles make a difference when you're working to the scale. That is all I had to take off on that last one. Eesh. Okay, so that should fit there. Should. Air quotes. Always in air quotes on this channel. Okay, then that'll come across like that and attach. No, that is still too long. I need to take off about 1 more mil. And that will get rid of all that flop. Not that the flop's not going to be glued down, but I do need to take off about 1 more mil. He did it again. He switched back to metric. Yeah. Okay. Now, 1 bead along here. I'm actually going to do it here. I'm going to mark where that goes to. That's going to be right to there. I'm going to run glue right in here between those 2 lines and lay it onto all of those pins at once. That's a much better idea. Why didn't you do that for the big long railings on the rest of the ship? Shut up. Only just thought of it. Okay. And those up and over. I do want to make sure those are kind of sort of lined up. So how the hell? Oh, I see why. It's like, why doesn't that match up at the end? Because these little things stand proud, and it kind of screwed that thing up. But it's fine. It's fine. It's actually going to work just fine. It's all peach keen. Okie dokie. Yep. After all the tech issues and all the other stuff, I am not going to have time to get to rigging tonight. I apologize for that. I will do that next week for sure. And that tells me what I'm doing next week, so I don't have to worry about it being like, oh, what am I going to work on tonight? I will work on the rigging. So, you heard it here, folks. You heard it here first, folks. The results of next week's videos are rigged. I did not get enough glue in there. It squished out the side, but didn't attach to the bottom. It really doesn't take much, so if it does hold, then I'm good. I'm golden. Okay. The other railing should go much faster. I'm not going to explain it. I'm just going to kind of do it. Y'all have already seen it, so y'all know what's going on. Close the pin so that I don't try it out and get all frustrated at a later date. Knife is going to need that in a minute, so don't run off of that. This I'm going to need. And yeah, so that's the first one done. Oop, get it in front of the camera. There we go. Okay, that's the prow. Let's do the aft. Okay, I already know this is going to need to be trimmed in here. That was weird. It made a hard clunk noise like it hit something. Then it didn't make a secondary clunk like it went somewhere after it bounced. Huh, weird. Probably landed on something soft across the room. Okay, one last one. Let's try not to hit myself in the forehead like last time. Ow! Not the forehead. Bounced it off my finger. Hey, found that one. Not that you care. Like I said, goes in the rubble pile. But it was definitely not the forehead. Bounced it right off my fingy. He said fingy. Yes, he did. Okay. Again, on this. Ugh, man. I got that first cut all kind of wonky. So let's fix that. Okay. Just like last time, a little bit down here in this divot. That's too much. It's going to squidge out the sides, but at least it will get good coverage. Make sure that that red line part that I want underneath is, well, underneath. I can't drink any more tea while I'm doing it this time because I don't have any more in my cup. But I think that's going to hold pretty quick. Grab pretty quick, okay. And then while that's actually setting up, I will put some more tea in my cup. That's tea. It's almost white. Ah, put so much milk in. Yeah. I drink it how's I likes it. Anybody who's asking, and I get asked this a lot, what are you drinking? I drink regular plain black tea with too much cream in it. It's not cream. Real cream, if you add it to hot tea, all the fats will clot and come up to the top, and it gets kind of gross. You always want to use milk, not actual cream. And yeah, I'm an American. We do everything by convenience. Mine's actually powdered creamer, but I get it, in my defense, I get it for free. I do use a kettle. And people used to get on me, why don't you use a kettle? I'm like, yes, one of these days I'll get a kettle. Oh, well, I got a kettle. I've had a kettle for quite a while now. Anybody who knows me and knows my tea habits knows I have a kettle. That said, I am perfectly willing to reheat the occasional cup of tea in the microwave. I know. Okay, so all of my Irish ancestors just went, not the microwave. I'm like, it didn't even exist when you were alive. Shut up. What, you don't have conversations with your dead relatives about your technology is better now? Are you even living? Get it? Living? Because they're not. I just insulted hundreds of people's genealogies. What are you going to do? Okay, so back to the marking. Forgot I needed that. Leave a mark right there. And mark right there. And that's where my glue is going. Ow! Dingus. I don't know why I said ow. That didn't hurt at all. Okay. Another strip of glue all along there and then lay it on top of here. That's right. He said again. Yep, sure did. It says people are still watching, but between my foul mouth and technology issues earlier and all that, I probably got nobody still watching, and that's fine. I'll catch you on the next one. You keep coming back, so I guess I haven't offended anybody too much. So the one thing that I said on a previous episode that I thought was going to offend people, people are like, oh yeah, I totally agree. I'm like, wow, really? Okay, cool. Well, what was that, Cross? Tell us again. No. Okay, one more drop of glue, and then I am done with this part, and I will do the rigging on next week, and we are done for the evening. That is a boatload too much glue. Pardon the pun on boatload there. Didn't mean for that to be a pun, but I'm not taking it back. Okay, now this, I did try to bend it carefully and slowly, but I do have a nick in the railing right there. Oh, you cannot see that white on white, but that is okay. I have several ways that I can try to fix that. One is I can try to sand past the nick so that there's not a nick anymore, which is kind of working. Also, once I glue, the paints I use actually have PVA in them. Plus, I'm using multiple layers and all of that. So once this is all painted, that should be much sturdier. And so that won't be an issue. I also have the same issue with this little nubbin that I snapped off last week. You know, I could build little walls for this that work just like this, like basically just a small rail. If I do that, I will do that off camera. I'm not going to bother y'all with yet another railing. So what was I saying? Oh, and my third way of fixing it is it may just break. If it breaks, I will completely replace it because it's sometimes I act like some of this stuff is difficult or complicated or time consuming or any of that, but it's really not. If you jack it up, and you will if you're just starting out, you will jack things up. And if you mess it up, I have a lot of hot glue on my pencil. It's neither here nor there. Let me get back to what I was saying. Just redo it. It's all recycled materials anyway, pretty much, or really cheap and expensive materials, or if it can't be, if it's not recycled, you can always recycle it. If you're one of those people that's buying whole sheets of XPS foam and you try to build something and it goes to heck and you have to take that and basically throw it out, don't throw it out. You'll see what I'm saying in a minute. And redo the whole thing. Well, now you can recycle the first part into ruins or rubble or something else entirely. I have turned walls into rocks. I have turned rocks into walls. None of this is rocket surgery. So, yeah, you can always redo if you have to, and none of it takes very long. If you're trying to do 20 or 30 things at once, sure, maybe. But overall, you can build it once, you can build it again, and I know you can build it because it's just not difficult. It's not rocket surgery. That's why I always call these, I don't always, I sometimes forget, but basically I treat these videos as a not a how-to. So as you can see, that's both railings done. Got all that done. Gonna switch to the front camera. I'm gonna turn out this light, otherwise it'll blind y'all. I'm gonna turn this light out, switch to the front camera, and then I'm gonna sign off for the night. I hope it hasn't been too annoying. Has been for me, but that's because I'm the one with the tech issues on this end. On your end, I hope it hasn't been too annoying. Close the knife for safety. Knife away. Drink more tea. Loves the tea. All right, so let me, yep, almost forgot to turn off the light right after saying that. Light is off, and front cam. So, yeah, that's campaign train. I just sit here and chill and talk about all sorts of whatever comes to my mind. Is that politics? Really trying to stay out of that. But if it has to do with little stuff, whether it's tabletop gaming, tabletop mini dioramas, doll houses, fairy houses, anything, whatever. If it's little, I'm probably into it. So hit me up in the Discord, links down below. And yeah, we can talk about little stuff. We can talk about gaming stuff. We can talk about games. If you're writing a game, we can talk about a game, the game that I'm writing. We can talk about anything geeky. Yeah, I'm trying to think of a subject that I really am not into. I'm not a big horror guy, but I'm willing to talk about it on my Discord. And there are many of the people that have wandered through my Discord over the years who are very much into horror. So if you want to talk about that, there's places for that too. So come hang out. It'll be fun. And yeah, otherwise, I will see you here next week, 7 o'clock Eastern. 3 weeks from now. Anyway, April 5th. Yes, April 5th should be the first day that I'm moving from 7 p.m. to 5 p.m. still on Sundays. But for now, I will see you in a week at 7 p.m. technology willing. We're all in this together. Just know that I love you. And until next time, I wish you luck in your campaign, whether it's on the tabletop or in real life. I know there's a lot going on. We're all in this together. Much love. I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for coming.